So I have already reviewed the Acefast Acefit Airs against the Shox OpenFit 2s, and I thought they gave the Shox a pretty good run for their money and came in at a price that was considerably cheaper. So now Acefast have also released their Acefit Pros. So if you want to get a pair of open-ear earbuds, you don't want to spend a lot of money, should you stick with the Airs or should you go Pro? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Let's get into it. Now, Acefast did send me both of these to review, but they're not paying for or sponsoring this video, so you are as always going to get my honest opinion. So there are a ton of similarities between both of these earbuds, with some differences that the Pro has that the Air doesn't, which we'll get into later. First up, the cases. I mean, both cases are incredibly thin, which makes them easy for sliding into your pocket. The Airs, probably unsurprisingly, are the thinner of the two. They really are the thinnest case I've ever seen for a pair of open-ear earbuds. The case on the Pros are a little bit thicker if you compare them side by side. The biggest visual difference between the two cases is that the Pro has this see-through case or lid on the top so you can see the earbuds through them, and it has this battery level indicator on top so you can tell how charged the case is and the earbuds as well. You can even change the light of the LED inside the Acefast app on your mobile phone. Now, both cases, because they are so thin, have the USB-C charging port underneath. That can make it a little bit annoying if you're trying to just use a standard USB-C cable for charging them, but both cases do come with a right-angled USB-C cable, so it is easier to do so. That's really just the consequence of having such a thin case. That size also does mean that there's no wireless charging in either of these cases. Moving on to the design of the earbuds, there is a slight weight difference, with the Air weighing 7.5 grams and the Pros weighing 7.9. And that thin loop over the top means not only is it comfortable to wear, but it also doesn't get in the way of glasses. So if you're a glasses wearer, you're not going to have an issue with these. And both of these are IP54 rated, so if you're going to wear these outside, they're going to be fine in a bit of light rain, or even if they get a bit dusty. The biggest visual difference between the two is the pulsating light that are on the Pros that aren't on the Airs. Now, this is supposed to be a safety feature, so you happen to be running at night, you basically have two glowing lights on the side of your head so that you're more visible. Obviously not everyone's going to want that, but for some people it's going to be useful. Unlike the LEDs on the case of the Pros though, you can't change the colour of the light on the earbuds themselves. Other than that, from a design perspective, they are very, very similar. And I liked the comfort of the Airs, so I was expecting to like the comfort of the Pros. And I did, but not as much as the Airs, because as similar in design as they do look, I did find that the Airs fitted my ears better, slightly, than the Pros, because that impacts the sound quality as well, which we'll get to later. The controls on these are the same, so you can do a single, double, triple, long press on each earbud. You can then go and change what each of those controls do in the Acefast mobile app. Fully configurable. I generally tend to turn single presses off so that accidental touches don't trigger commands, but there's still plenty of options with doubles and triples and long presses to set it up however you want. Battery wise on both of these is pretty good. You'll get up to 8 hours of battery life on a single charge, 25 hours including the case. Both of these have fast charging as well, where a 10-minute charge will give you 2 hours of playback. You can take calls on these because both of these have dual mics inside them, and if you want to hear what they sound like, here's a mic test so you can hear what they sound like for yourself. You're now listening to a mic test of the Acefast Acefit Air earbuds, so this is what it's going to sound like if you happen to use these for taking a call. And now this is what it sounds like if you're going to use the mic on the Acefast Acefit Pros for taking a call, and how well these mics are picking up my voice, whether it's any different from the mics on the Airs. Sound-wise, both of these come with the same 20 by 8mm driver that's got 3 linear magnets inside it to give you good sound. When you've tweaked it though, because I think out of the box it's got way too much treble, the bass is almost non-existent. But you can go into the Acefast mobile app and you can tweak the sound to exactly what your sound preference is. Not only are there 3 preset EQs, which might be enough for you, but I suspect not. Fortunately, there is an 8-band custom EQ where you can jump in and set it to exactly your sound preference. So once you EQ either of these to your preference, you're going to get good sound. Where the trebles are clear, they don't sound shrill, you get some of the bass without being distorted. You can listen to either of these for hours at a time without getting any ear fatigue. They're both good for listening to, which is handy if you're going for like a really long run and you want to have music to listen to whilst you're doing it. One question I always get asked when looking at open-ear earbuds though is, are they loud enough? I would say that if someone's asking that question, then they're probably never going to be loud enough. Open ear earbuds just aren't super loud compared to in-ear earbuds. As far as the style goes, these were loud enough for me, and they were pleasant enough to listen to for hours at a time. Whilst I said they do sound good with EQ, the fit does play a part here, because whilst they do look the same, they did fit me slightly differently. Oddly enough, I found that the Airs fitted me better for my size of ears, whereas I didn't think the Pros fitted me as well. It just didn't sit as naturally in my ear, even though if you look at them side by side, they look the same. So because the position on the earbud is slightly different on the Pros, it wasn't in the best position for getting the best sound. So to my ears, even though I know that these have the same speakers inside them, the Airs sounded better than the Pros because the Airs put the speaker in the right position in my ear over the Pros. So at the end of the day, both of these earbuds are incredibly similar. I mean, they've got the same speaker drivers in it, they've got the same battery life, they've got the same mics, they've got pretty much the same design. What you're really paying for with the Pros as an extra is you've got the battery level case and the lights on the earbuds themselves. The Airs are currently going for only $68 and the Pros are going for $84. So if you want to pay the extra, what's that, $16? There you go. If you want to pay the extra $16 for a slightly bigger fit and for getting the battery indicators and the lights on the earbuds, go get those. If you want to get a cheaper pair, where you've got maybe slightly smaller ears, go get the Airs. Now those prices are a crazy price, so I will put purchase links to them in the description down below so that you can go check them out for yourself. If you do want to check out some other options though, then be sure to check on the link up here. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed it and you're not subscribed yet, well, click the button down there. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.